There was, of course, no such stockpile in Ukraine. Missiles like these are developed by the world's leading countries over 20 or 30 years. Yuzhmash is in ruins. There is currently no scientific potential of this kind in Ukraine. How could they have developed something like this in just a few months? No need. It's about the same as our friends the Houthis, who, so to speak, are working wonders in the field of hypersonics with jackhammers. Well, anything can happen. Everyone, as they say, has their own arguments. Iran has its own, NATO has theirs. But now back to what was said about the Flamingo. The Flamingo has another unpleasant aspect for us. Let's call it this, the British Flamingo. What is the unpleasant aspect? This missile can carry an extremely large warhead, up to 1,000 kilograms. You were talking about the Taurus, that's 400 to 450 kilograms there, but this is 1,000. Moreover, it has inertial navigation. That is, it can be guided by satellite navigation, or it can navigate on its own using the information programmed into its intelligence. In other words, it knows how to evade, including from SAMs, from surface-to-air missile systems. Now that really is, well, frightening. When such extremely powerful lethal weapons end up in the hands of madmen, I'm talking about the Kiev Nazis, that's truly terrifying. So what are they going to do with it? Now, I could really scare our citizens right now, but that's not what I'm doing. I'm simply providing accurate information. Imagine if Zelensky, completely deranged by bloodshed, were to take spent uranium from a nuclear power plant and put it into the warhead of this missile. That's called a dirty bomb. Even the act of shooting down or attempting to shoot down such an object could lead to unpleasant consequences, spreading this uranium dust or powder. But again, let me quickly say this in the remaining minutes. There's no need, as they say, to lose your mind over this or commit harakiri. To a large extent, we are resilient to small doses of radiation. There is very little research in this area, and it's clear why no one encourages it. The Americans have conducted some studies. DARPA, their Special Department for Innovative Technologies, was involved in this. In addition, if we're not talking about a nuclear power plant where there is constant contamination, like at Fukushima or Chernobyl, because there you can't stop the reaction. If we're talking about an explosion, then this explosion is, let's say, only dangerous for a very limited time in terms of long-term consequences. So, if a tactical nuclear weapon explodes, its negative effects on the environment will be, believe me, much less serious than, for example, the use of depleted uranium shells, which the Americans and Europeans are using in Ukraine. Because there are plenty of those boxes, armor-piercing, fin-stabilized discarding sabot shells with a uranium rod inside, and they've been using them for 2 or 3 years already. They keep putting them in there persistently. So regarding that, a tactical nuke, to be honest, doesn't really scare me that much either. Sorry. But I believe that if objects like the Flamingo could be launched across our territory and our intelligence works well, then the use of anything from the Oreshnik and beyond is possible. To conclude, Comrade Ryabkov, the Deputy Foreign Minister of Russia, said directly, well, right before Anchorage, he said it officially, not to me personally, he whispered it to someone else, I haven't had the honor of being introduced, that we have weapons far more destructive than the Oreshnik.
They didn't mention the Burevestnik. That thing is a lot heavier than the Oreshnik.
Burevestnik Ivan, yes, that's a missile with a reactor on board which has, let's say, an unlimited combat range. The officially stated range is over 18,000 kilometers. But it's actually unlimited, because the reactor allows the missile to operate for a very long time. And naturally, it's intelligent and can approach its target from any point in open space. So yes, in that regard, but this already relates to the final argument of the king, ultima ratio regis, when it's clear that we need to make everyone see reason, but after such reasoning, it really would be World War III.